Hi, welcome to Tom Talk Shop. Today I'm going to show you my trim making holder that I made for my workbench to hold long and narrow pieces of wood that need to be cut into various trim. Please like, subscribe, and comment. It helps our channel greatly. Thank you.
This is a picture of Tom's trim making board holder, and you can see it's just a 1x8 with another piece of thinner wood screwed to it, and that is adjustable back and forth across the width of the board, down the entire length, of course, which in this case is about 9 feet, and this allows him to be able to unscrew that other little piece and move it back and forth depending on the size of the trim that he's going to make. That is the width of the trim. He mainly made this board to make long, narrow pieces, and he's designed it so it works well with his workbench and holds the work securely. He will explain that in more detail near the end of the video. Thank you.
All right, right here I've got my work holding device. It's a little bit shy of 9 foot long, so I can do pretty long stuff on it. On the rare occasion I need to make anything longer, I usually just clamp it to the bench or actually make something for that particular thing as a one-off and then throw it away. So what I've got here is I use a set screw, and these are lath screws, which I have found work the best. When I learned how to do it, we used to use a bent over nail, kind of like a staple, but these work a whole lot better. I use screws on the side kind of in the same way, and if, like here, there's a clearance issue, I make little stop blocks that hold it. And then there's another one up here that I can raise and lower so the planes clear it to act as a dog. And then I just use my impact to just take things on and off as I need it. So it allows me just to quickly remove screws. We do trim of all kinds of different lengths all the time. Like here's a piece I just finished, but I need a lot of pieces about this length, so I just pick through it and cut around the flaws. This piece is long enough, it doesn't seem to have any bad flaws in it. And I just will go ahead and attach it. So this end down here acts as the dog, because most of the time I'll be planing from right to left, so I'll be pushing down this way or going counterclockwise, however you want to reckon that. So I'll be pushing against this, and then what I do is I just make a little divot in the end of the board just to catch it, and we'll film that on a scrap, but I'm going to do it to set this one. And I mark where the screw will go. Got that? And I just make a little divot with my marking knife. Doesn't need much. Put it on there. And then I give it a light tap. If you hit it too hard, it'll pop the screw right out of it. Then I just put an end screw in the end of it. Hopefully I can use the same hole here. Now it's going to have a lot of flex in it, so I'm going to take my little block here. Since I have to have clearance for the plane, I have to have 1/8 of an inch clearance at the bottom. So I take a block like that. Okay, then what I do is I just take it, and I'll go ahead and get it started here. That, if you're careful, should hold it. You can see here sometimes, in fact, I'll just show you how I do it, but it won't work for this piece of trim. I take a screw and I'll just catch it on the side like that, which actually holds a whole lot better, but I can't use it in this application because I have an 1/8 inch line I need to come down to, which you can see it on this trim. I need to come down to that in order to get my cove cut, and it would interfere with my plane, so I'd have to pop it off and keep moving it. This allows me to keep working start to finish, and it, keeps me from getting slowed down all the time. Okay, I got the hard physical work over with. Now I need to just go ahead and round the cove off, so I'll shoot a little bit of footage of that, and then this is actually the last piece I've got to do on this part of the job. So I'll tear this thing apart, and I can show you how each of the parts work as we take it off the bench. So here we go. All right, right here, now we can start to see why I'm doing this instead of having a screw in there. Because as I'm progressing along, I have to get right down to the top of that thing, and I don't want to scar my blade up. And I will be going right down to the edge of it. Okay, I'm basically done, except I've got to just take a little bit more off right here. Okay, I'm basically done, except I've just got to take a little bit more off the bottom all along here. And I'll show you how I'm just trying to get a minimal clearance here, just taking a little bit. And this is why I'm not using screws, because I need to get right down to that. That's kind of one of my little things I've made to make my job easier. And that's just kind of how it works in there. That whole section is basically done. Okay, I've basically got the whole thing done now. And I'm going to take the side block off, and then I'll take the end out, and then I'm going to break this thing off the bench, and I'll talk about the various components of it and how it works with my bench anyway. Everybody's bench is going to be different. So, did we get a picture of this?
Just show it.
Okay, this is the way my side block works. It just screws up against that and then pinches it there. And I've made different ones. I make them all the time because these tend not to last very long. Already broke one on this job. There, the trim just pops right out. Now, the jig has got a number of other parts. We've got our dog down here, which I can move to different places depending on and I can raise and lower it by just screwing it and unscrewing it, though you don't want it too much higher. The screws tend to bend. This is the center piece, and it's just a piece of scrap wood I planed down. I frequently move it back and forth depending on the width, and sometimes I move it closer to the edge too, depending on what I'm working with, but just depends. But quite often, as you can see, I've got a line over here, and that's where these have gotten screwed to a few times. And you could flip it around the other way, but on my bench, it won't work that way, so you just have to slide it around this way. Now, how it's held in my bench is I have my corner vise, and I catch it in the front, and then down here, I have a dog hold down on that, and I have a dog right there, and then from there I can just remove it right off the bench, and I'll show you what it looks like. And everything on this thing's pretty much scrap and disposable, but I've just got two pieces that are screwed down that act as dogs for it. And then that allows you just to clamp it to the bench and then hold it there steady too. And if any piece of it gets too wore out, I just replace it.